Members of the Highway Patrol tasked with investigating the crash involving Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg and Joe Beaver gave a briefing earlier today in Pierre intended to help lawmakers guide them about what happened that night and how they conducted the investigation.
Austin Goss was at that briefing today. He gives us a look at what came out of it and has some reaction from lawmakers. Austin, good evening.
Good evening, Andrea. The South Dakota Highway Patrol Troopers who conducted the investigation into the crash involving Jason Ravnsborg and Joe Beaver gave lawmakers specifically today a briefing explaining how they conducted their investigation and what they believe happened that night.
A non-distracted driver would see Mr. Beaver. Mr. Beaver's face was through the windshield and he rode on the vehicle for a short distance. Mr. Beaver's glasses were located inside Attorney General Ravnsborg's vehicle. Attorney General Ravnsborg stated his headlights were on low beam. It is proven he was distracted.
Troopers John Byrne and Kevin Kinney briefed members of the public and just under 40 House lawmakers Wednesday about the September 2020 crash where Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg struck and killed Joe Beaver. The troopers showed those in attendance, both in person and on Zoom, pictures from a drone showing exactly how close Beaver's body was found to the road, where Jason Ravnsborg walked by him twice with a flashlight.
The area of impact is so far off the roadway, it takes him so far to stop. And just has been described, the amount of evidence found inside the vehicle from the impact. We don't know the answer other than it's not normal.
3 lawmakers attended in person, including Will Mortensen, who brought the original impeachment resolution last year.
All the evidence we had 14 months ago when I brought the first articles of impeachment have only been confirmed by the evidence we've seen in these broader reports, which is that the Attorney General ran off the road, and because of his crimes, he caused the death of Mr. Beaver. That is, he committed a crime, and that's the reason that Mr. Beaver has passed away.
The troopers told lawmakers the Select Committee on Investigation, tasked with considering the impeachment of Ravnsborg, declined to hear their presentation, opting instead to ask them specific questions. Speaker Spencer Gosh, chair of the Select Committee, said in part, quote, "They didn't feel like they needed a sales pitch."
They turned down this briefing, and so I think that's inexcusable, and I'm formally going to request that everybody in the House gets to see the briefing when we come back on impeachment day, because I think it's very important. Not looking at it one way or the other, but they need to see the briefing because it was very professional and explained everything in very detail, and I'd like them to have a chance to have the same 2 troopers here to be able to ask questions just like we did today.
Now, the full House will return to Pierre on April 12th, that's next Tuesday, to vote on whether or not to impeach Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg. That will only require a simple majority, 36 votes, in the House. Live in Pierre, Austin Goss, Dakota News Now.
Hey there, Officer Doorknocker here on PD. The reason I pulled you over is you failed to stop.
Failed to stop?
Yep, at the stop sign there back at Market and Lincoln, you pulled out in front of me. I didn't have a stop sign, you did.
Okay.
All right?
That was Attorney General Jason Ravnsborg in new video obtained by Dakota News Now. The Attorney General had several traffic stops reported by law enforcement before his deadly crash in 2020. Ravnsborg made sure to identify himself as the Attorney General. He was also given warnings rather than citations prior to the crash. Cooper